And we are live. Welcome, readers, book lovers, and mystery fans. I'm your on-air host, Sara DiVello, and I'm so excited to welcome to the show Anna Montague, here to give us the inside scoop on her brand new book. How does that make you feel, Magda Eklund? Well, tell us about this book, Anna.
Well, thank you for having me tonight. Thrilled to be here. How does that make you feel? Magda Eklund is the story of a 70-year-old psychiatrist based in Manhattan who is absolutely dreading her birthday because her best friend of many years, who admittedly always threw horrible parties for her, has just died the year before. And it's the first birthday she's celebrated without her friend in 40 years, has no idea how to go about it, and is surprised to find her friend had planned a 70th birthday road trip for the two of them. And she decides to go on the trip, but then her best friend's widower, who's very quickly taken up with a new woman, asks her to watch over the urn for the summer because his new girlfriend doesn't like looking at it. So she sets off on a road trip with her best friend's urn. So we're kind of, murder by the book. Like, there's not really the thriller aspect to this one because you kind of already know who's in the urn from the outset.
We know who's in the urn, but there is a bit of a mystery that unfolds on this road trip.
A little bit, yeah.
The mystery of our identity, which is perhaps the greatest mystery of all. So I am very excited to talk with you tonight, Anna, and I can't wait to delve into all of the details. But first, I just want to welcome everyone because we are broadcasting live to 6 different destinations across Facebook and YouTube. So, hey, book loving friends, no matter where you're watching from, you're in the right place. It is the right time. It is Mystery Monday because Mondays can be murder. We are going to make your Monday a little less painful and get your week off to a killer start. So if you've been here before, you know how this goes. And if you're new, here's how it goes. Every Monday, I pick my handpicked 2 featured authors, and you get to ask them anything. So ask Anna about this book, ask her about Magda, ask her about her creative process, anything you want to know. Get it going in the comments. Robin is joining us from Facebook saying, hello all. Hi, Robin.
Hey, Robin.
So good to see you pop up. She says, Sara, please wave if you see this. I see you, Robin. I see you, and I'm so happy to see you. Sharon's joining us from YouTube saying, hi, girls. Hi, Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
So Sharon's been with me the whole 4.5 years that I've had this interview series. We met in person finally when I interviewed Unger in February. And then we saw each other again this past Tuesday when I interviewed Danielle Trussoni in person. So Sharon, hi.
Okay.
Randy is also joining us from YouTube. Hello. He says, hi, everyone. Hi, Randy. So good to see your name pop up. Renee is joining us from Facebook with her cute little pup saying, hi, Sara and Anna from Southeast Florida. Hi, Renee. So good to see you. Okay, so I see the questions are pooling in, and I'm going to get to every single one of them, but I need to kick off with one of my own because Anna, the name of the character that you kill off is Sara with no H.
It's not personal. We hadn't met yet. There was no way for me,
Anna. Why did you kill off Sara with no H? And why did you do Sara no H instead of Sara with an H, which of course is my personal favorite way to spell Sara? I
knew I needed to get on the live show, so I had to get your attention somehow. Took off the H, took Sara out of commission, and just thought I think this could work. And sure enough.
Well, it worked. Oh my gosh, all the hearts are coming up on Facebook. Yay. I love that. It worked, Anna, because here you are to explain yourself or for killing off Sara, no H. Well, we are glad to have you, and we are glad to have to get the inside scoop on how does that make you feel, Magda Eklund. Renee, you are here just in time for the live interview. You're in the right place. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so, oh my gosh, Travel Entertainment says, wow. I know, I was surprised when she killed off Sara too, okay? But we're all going to have to take a deep breath. She's vicious that way. But
I can see how I might get unpopular for this one. Just so everyone knows, I really like this Sara. Would never do it to her.
So, okay, let's start with Anna. A fun fact about me is I have kept journals since I was 8 years old. So as soon as I saw that this book had a Sara, no H, and that she was a journal keeper, and that Magda read her journal after she died, because my college best friend and I have a pact. She's also a journal keeper.
Mhm.
That whichever of us dies first, she lives in Philadelphia, I will drive there and burn her journals. And if I die first, she's going to drive here and burn my journals. So I was like, this is my vibe. Now, okay, if your best friend died
Mhm.
and you found her journal, would you read it?
No, I'd burn it. I've
So,
also kept journals since I was about 8, and nobody needs to see that.
oh my gosh, a fellow journal keeper. Oh, I love
Mhm.
that. Okay, first of all, I need to know how many people in the audience are journal keepers. Let me know if you're a journal keeper. And also, let me know if you'd read your best friend's journal. So first identify yourself as journal keeper. I'd read the journal keeper. I'm a good person and would never read the journal. So, okay, Magda reads
Mhm.
the journal. Anna saying she would not. So take us into the moment when you decided to, when the story of people are laughing. I love your little LOL faces. Okay, bring us to the moment when you thought about this story and the characters of Magda and Sara and the journal. Bring us into the moment of inception.
Okay. Well, it all started because my therapist broke up with me. I know. Not that I was that much of a
What?
problem, or
That
that I
is
was
so
perfect.
hurtful. Oh my God.
Well, it was okay. She was much older. She would have been in her 70s, I believe.
Okay, so she just was
And
retiring.
it was deep during lockdown, during the pandemic. And she said, I'm only continuing on with a few people, the ones that I'm seeing really, really regularly. And I'd asked her, well, what are you going to do with all of your free time? And there's pause. And she said, I don't quite know. And rather than process my feelings in a healthy way, I thought, oh, maybe I should draft a little story about this. And it very quickly became a story about female friendship. But I was so fascinated with the idea of someone having to start over at a point in their life when they really thought that everything was solidified, that they had the path forward, they had their people, all of it was taken care of. And the beginning of the book chronicles Magda's journey of grief, where she's trying to keep her life in the same shape that it was when Sara was still alive. And her friend's widower is passing along everything that he can think of.
Mm.
Her couch, her clothes. She has this whole room that's kind of become her Sara room. And the journal was one part of the stationery. So I guess ethically there weren't any boundaries crossed because she didn't really know.
Yeah.
It wasn't a proper journal, but that's how she unearthed the plans for the road trip and decided to set off.
Well, I love that because first of all, I've always wanted to take a road trip cross country. I've yet to do it. And I just love this. I mean, I love everything about this, right? The Sara No H, the journal keeper, reading her friend's journal and taking off on this, on this road trip to honor her with her friend's urn. And it actually, I lost a family member, my beloved uncle, earlier this year, and navigating the path of grief those early days is very hard. And his widow actually sent me some of his things, which I have on the shelf right behind me, his coffee cup that he drank from every day. And so I've created an Uncle Martin shelf. And so I resonated with so much of the book. Oh my gosh, Robin is saying, Sara, I read a book with Renee as a main character and I didn't want to see her killed. Thank God she survived. Yes, we're all glad that Renee survived. I cannot say the same for Sara No H. Okay. Renee wants to know, did your parents ever find your journals and read them, Anna?
Oh my God, I think my mom is tuning in, but if you guys did read them, I don't want to know.
Oh, you wouldn't want to know that they read them? I would want to know.
Honestly, I did happen to look back and rediscover one of my journals from middle school recently, and I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. The angst is just so palpable.
Oh, I love it.
I was really diving into the lyrics of Fall Out Boy
Oh,
at the moment. Yeah.
going back to the angst of childhood is so it's still so real. I reread mine too. Robin says she's not a journal keeper. Okay, fair enough. So your best friend won't have to navigate that. Elizabeth, welcome to the conversation, saying journal keeper here, stacks of them. Amen. Elizabeth, you're in the right place. Now, what would you do if your best friend read the books? That's what we want to know, Elizabeth. Oh, Rob is saying yes, and that's why. Oh no, Sara, never kept it again.
Oh
Renee
no.
saying I kept a journal when I was young, but I caught my youngest sister reading it, and I stopped after that. Oh my god, that's brutal. I'm so sorry.
Nightmare.
Okay, so your therapist broke up with you, and oh my god, Renee wants to know. Okay, we're getting dark here. Are
Okay.
you going to be cremated?
Me? I mean, God, I don't know. Maybe.
Because Sara did choose to be cremated, and now her best friend can carry around the urn.
Right. I mean, honestly, maybe because since this book was announced, actually, no, there is a murder aspect to tonight. I'm sorry. I was totally wrong before. Since this book was announced, I have been receiving urns in the mail, anonymous.
People are mailing you urns.
Yes. And so I do think I need to be cremated because I have 15 urns in my entryway and I should use at least one of them.
Oh my god, the emojis are exploding on Facebook. I love it. So I do plan to be cremated.
Oh, do you want an urn?
Yes, I do. I'll
Yeah,
give it. Give me an urn, a decorative one, and
absolutely.
either that or I'm going to be one of those things where you get planted under a tree and then the tree absorbs your remains and then you live on as a tree.
Yeah. Also,
Oh, Renee, thank you. I thank you. I miss him so much. Oh my goodness. Anna's mom has entered the chat. Deb says this is mom with 2 M's, and I never read Anna's journals. Although to be fair, Deb, would you confess it here and now? I mean, that's going to make for an awkward Thanksgiving.
yeah, who would say it in a live stream? I do think probably reading my journals when I was a teenager would be more of a punishment to whoever was reading them. So,
oh my God.
Believe it.
Thank you, Deb, for not reading them. I appreciate that. We all appreciate that. Oh my goodness, I love that. Oh yeah, Renee wants to say, do you have 14 family members? Yeah. How do you have 15 urns? So people are just sending you? I mean, they're empty, right?
Well, so that again, the mystery aspect is coming back. There is one that seems to be occupied. I haven't been able to open the lid. It's this bright pink, giant, bedazzled urn. And picking it up and noticed it sounded like there was sand or something in it, but I couldn't unscrew it. I don't know where it came from. So
that's the texture of a cremated person is sand.
Right.
Oh my God, someone sent you of their family member.
Yeah, or a pet or something. But there is yeah, I do have a roommate besides the dogs.
Well, no.
So, no, I don't. There's no rhyme and reason to it. I actually managed at work, people started to find out that I had this surplus of urns. And so there were a few people who'd lost someone somewhat recently and asked if I might have an extra. And I was like, well, why don't you describe your loved one? And so I kind of became, I was able to help some people find new resting places for their loved ones, which was nice.
Oh my God. I was not expecting the conversation. See, you never know what's going to happen on Mystery and Thriller.
Yeah. And I moved. So I thought the urns would stop.
Oh, but they kept coming?
Well, yeah.
Forwarding them?
The new address down the line, right? And yeah, UPS did me dirty on that one. But the movers, when they showed up, they started, they're moving everything. They did a great job of it. But they would be shouting, all right, who's got the morgue? You got to be careful with it. Oh my God. So you're walking into the new building. I was like, I'm not weird. I don't have urns in a weird way.
Renee says that is so sweet, Anna. I totally agree. That's so sweet. And Renee sharing that her dog, Kane just passed and she still has to pick up his ashes. Oh, I'm glad, and then he'll be back with you, Renee, in spirit and in his ashes. That's such a beautiful way to remember him. Thank you for sharing.
Renee, if you want an urn,
we know where to go. Anna, I want to talk about some of the praise that this book has earned. So let's talk about this one from Jonas Jonasson, who said, this book is at once tender and hilarious. How does that make you feel? Magda Eklund is a beautifully written and moving novel of loss and new beginnings. So I loved that blurb, and I want to delve into it a little more because my very dear friend Mary Haft also lost someone very dear to her a week after Uncle Martin died, and we were sort of walked the path of grief together, and she said grief is a path we all must navigate. And I've held that phrase with me to my heart, and it's really helped me through the past couple of months. And it's actually really hard to write about grief in a way that is not overblown but is very raw and real. How did you, and not dragging us down into a pit of complete depression, how did you navigate that, Anna?
Well, I think the particular challenge was having a protagonist who's very set in her ways and hasn't had her life be shaken up in a significant way before. Not like this. But I also wrote and edited this book over the course of maybe 2.5 year period where I lost two of my grandparents. A friend of mine passed, and unexpectedly, there were a number of parallels in my own life to what I was writing. And I do think that oftentimes grief, within personal circumstances, I think so often of that Richard Siken poem where he's writing about being sad and collapsing to the floor, and you're lying on the floor crying, and you look at the wall and you just realize you haven't painted it very well. I think so. I was thinking about the absurdity that can often be inherent to those moments of grief, and the fact that life doesn't really get to stop. It's not like the trash isn't going to start taking itself out. Your responsibilities don't stop. Your life has to continue on even when you're grieving. And it's about finding a way through it.
I think that's always the thing that surprises me the most about grief, is that the world does keep spinning, and you feel so in so much, you feel so grief stricken, and your heart hurts so much that you're kind of amazed that the sun still does come up and it still goes down and everyone still goes to work and the garbage still has to go out, as you said. And you're like, but how is everything the same when everything feels different?
Right.
And it's so true. There's an absurdity to that, which is this weird, disparity between how you feel, which is everything is in disarray. Everything is completely different, but strangely the world keeps going, and it's very bizarre.
Yeah. And I mean that, the everyday tasks become so much more arduous, but the world is continuing on. That part of grief where it's so personal, but it touches every aspect of your life, right? There's a real holistic nature to experiencing grief.
Yes, exactly. Because we will all have to, or have had to walk that path. And Renee's saying, and you feel so stuck in one place, right? Because everyone else keeps going, but you stay here in that hurt. And it's exactly right. So I thought that that this review, from Jonas Jonasson, talking about that, was so great, and also talking about the humorous thing, because the other thing that's the humorous aspect, because the other thing that's really hard to write is humor. Without to be funny on the page is actually not easy. What do you think makes it work?
I don't know. Honestly, I didn't realize the book was funny until they pointed it out. So I might be the wrong person to ask from a craft perspective, but I really do think that so many times there is an absurdity to the way that we experience grief. I remember I was once I'd gone through a really bad breakup, and I was traveling home from a vacation we'd had together, and I wind up next to a couple on their honeymoon, right?
Oh God!
And it's the sort of thing you think and go, well, God, I'm having the worst day, but there is a part of me that recognizes this is actually really funny. Right. It will be funny one day, right?
Exactly. Jane, welcome to the conversation. She wants to know, what is Anna working on now? What is Anna working on now? Tell us.
I'm working on my next novel. It's very different from this one, but it's really exciting to be at the beginning of a project again. It's been 4 years since I got to really dive into something new. So I'm excited for a whole new cast.
Yay. And do you find, I know it's so funny because I was just talking with another friend who's also an author, and she was saying that she loves to edit, but she finds the staring at the blank page at the beginning of the project, completely overwhelming. She's like, at least when you edit, you have something to work with. But when you were staring at that blank page, there's nothing. And I was like, oh, I feel the opposite. I really hate editing. But when I'm staring at that blank page, it's like New Year's Day, where there's 365 days stretched out ahead of me, and they're blank, and I can fill them as I like. And it's like getting a new journal, actually. And I'm like, ooh, all these fresh open pages, I get to fill them up. Is that which camp do you fall into, Anna?
Oh, I'm so in your camp. I think about, the Joan Didion quote, right? She's talking about starting a new book, and then 5 pages in, I've already ruined it. But if I keep going, I can make it to the next one. And I feel like that's more my mentality. I love the beginning of a project where it could go anywhere. And then it's getting into the nitty-gritty when you've already committed so many pages, and so many hours.
I love that. And I hadn't heard that Joan Didion quote. So thank you for sharing that. That's funny. 5 pages and I've already ruined it.
Yeah, I've butchered it, but it's a much more beautiful quote.
No, I'm going to look that up because I like that. It sort of gives us permission to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Renee says, Sarah, do you know any family members? Do you have family members? Oh, do my family members know that I will be cremated? Mm-hmm. My siblings don't know yet, and I think they'll be upset with me. However, even though I'm the oldest of 4, I'll probably outlive them. My family members do know. My sister Hannah also wants to be cremated. So I think it's just sort of more environmentally friendly. I don't need to be taking up space in a graveyard, and the chemicals aren't really that great. So plus then my best friend can take my urn for a road trip. So there's always that fun possibility. But yeah, I'm pretty open about like my wishes.
I went to this virtual death cafe. Have you ever been to one of those before?
No, what is that?
Okay. It's completely fascinating, but there's a cemetery near me in Brooklyn called the Greenwood Cemetery that does phenomenal programming. And during lockdown, they took one of their most popular programs virtual, and it's called the Death Cafe. And what they do in person is a bunch of strangers show up at the cemetery. They're broken into small groups, and they talk about death. So I'd gone because I knew my grandmother was on the cusp of dying. I didn't know how imminent it was, but I didn't really feel like I was prepared for that loss and wanted to, better understand and get advice from people who'd maybe coped with it recently. But the range of people who showed up and what they wanted to talk about related to death was all totally different. There was one person who was trying to figure out what kind of funeral to have and how involved to have their children be. Another one was asking for advice on how to handle end-of-life planning and, how to broach that to family members. And it wound up being this group that was all there to talk about death, but from radically different perspectives.
That's so interesting, and it doesn't surprise me at all because everybody feels so differently about it. Everyone has such complex feelings about it. That is so interesting. I've never heard of that.
And people of all different ages. I think I would have been one of the younger ones, and at the time I would have been 28, 29, and they were people going into their 80s too. It was really incredible.
I love that. I also I'm one of those people that loves to have friends of all ages. So a woman who lives a few buildings down from me has become a very dear friend, and she's 76, and we're like besties from the dog park. And then I go to the senior center every Thursday, and I have my friends who are in their 90s, and I love having people of different ages.
So much. Yeah, one of my best friends is 80. We met through this film program that paired young queer folks with queer senior citizens.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, we talk every week. We go to museums together now. She is the best.
Yeah. My 76-year-old friend Madeline and I go so many places together. We go out to eat, and we go for dog walks, and it's the best.
Yeah, I think intergenerational friendship is a great thing, and just being open to what people from different backgrounds and different timelines have to teach you is an incredible thing too.
Totally. John's joining us from Northeast Ohio via Facebook. John, great to see you pop up. Thanks for stopping in. Now, Anna, I want to get back to some of the other praise that this book has earned. So let's talk about this one from Kristen Arnett. I'm going to pop it up so we can all read it together. And Kristen says, a road trip novel with a tremendous amount of heart. I ached along with the characters, rooted for them, wished them all the best. Truly a novel that asks you to consider the winding, secret path to love that sits lodged in every person's breast. I love that. A novel that asks you to consider the winding, secret path to love that sits lodged in every person's breast. Anna Montague has written something bright and lovely here. A novel that is, above all, quietly beautiful. What an incredible review.
So
Um, I absolutely loved that. First of all, it's beautifully written. And secondly, she has such a lovely way of incisively getting to the very nucleus of what I also resonated with in this book in a far more eloquent and elegant way than I could find to say. What I want to talk to you about is, what do you think is the key to creating characters that makes Kristen Arnett and your other readers ache along with the characters, rooting for them and wishing them all the best? Because I think sometimes what doesn't work for people is when the characters don't quite land and you don't care about them. Or worse, there's a whole trend right now about writing unlikable characters, and that's very cool. I'll say it. I don't like unlikable characters. I want to love my characters. And I want other people to love them. Tell us your thoughts on this.
I mean, I love the idea of the characters where you're rooting for their success. I think Magda's someone who's been so stuck in her ways for so long, right? she's depended on her friend to bring this light and levity to her life. And I think from the beginning, I always hoped it would be possible, for someone who's been in that position to be able to find that for themselves. But it's not an easy journey, right? So I think a lot of it just comes down to making sure that there's a level of dimension that makes sense to the character, that you're getting enough of them that often you can see what they're not able to at the time, right? And I love the idea too, the kind of delicious irony of a psychiatrist who's so good at her job and so bad at considering her own needs and wants.
But isn't that true, though? I mean, what is that expression? The cobbler's child always goes barefoot. Aren't we so, and especially as women, aren't we so good of taking care of everyone else's needs and wants and watching and seeing what everyone needs and then taking care of ourselves less. So to see, a woman awaken at this age and to start to realize that, oh my gosh, all the hearts, okay, this is all the hearts and all the legs are coming up. Just telling you, this resonates with so many. Robin saying, so Sarah, that's so sweet. You have elder friends. Oh my God, I love my mature friends, my senior friends. They're the best. I love older women. They're just so fabulous. Renee saying, I thought the trend had changed to write likable characters. Interesting, Renee. I don't know about you. I'm seeing an awful lot of unlikable characters lately. Let me know what you think. Okay, I want to talk also about, you guys, this book is available now from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. That is, of course, Murder by the Book. So you can get your mitts on Magda Eklund and her road trip with her best friends, right here, whether you're watching with us on Facebook or YouTube. And let us know what you think about this road trip. Let us know what you think about Magda. And as someone who is very stuck in her ways, even at the age of 47, I will say that I resonated with this character. Let us know what you think. Renee wants to know, do I take my pup to the senior center? No, because my sweet little Palu is not that well behaved. She would be jumping on people, and also she's deaf now. She lost her hearing, so she's a little harder to corral. Sassy Palu cannot be corralled. She's too feisty in spirit.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, who's this? This?
Oh, buddy. This is character actress Margot Martindale.
Margot Martindale.
She just woke up from a nap and heard all the voices. Hi, buddy.
Oh,
ready?
Oh my God, look at her face. That is a face of a character actress.
Yes.
Has a lot of character. Look at that.
She has excellent expressions. So she got to be named after the best in the game.
Oh my God, look at I wish you could see the bouquets of flower of hearts coming up. Everyone is loving Margot Martindale.
She's a star.
Look,
She loves seniors, but she also really loves babies. That's been her new toddlers are kind of her favorite thing.
oh my God. So Peilu's the opposite. She does
Really?
not like them because they don't have fine motor control and they could really pound her. And she's tiny that
Yeah.
she could get bruised. So she doesn't like that. Margaret Martindale has entered the chat. Yes, indeed. Anna, thank you for sharing your sweetie with us. Renee says, oh my God, she's so cute. I love gray and black dogs.
She's a really sweet pup.
The cutest.
You're gonna go back to bed. Okay.
And then I want to talk also about this blurb, this review from Amanda Eyre Ward, who is the New York Times bestselling author of The Jet Setters and the Liars. She says, I love therapy and books about therapists. So this warm and witty debut novel won me completely. I loved Magda Eklund's Journey of Grief and Wonderment. So as someone who has also been in therapy, loves therapy, I'm such a huge therapy advocate. I'm like, everyone should go to therapy. Did you interview therapists as well, or were you just telling the story from what you've learned being on your side of the couch?
I mean, I love therapy. I think it's an invaluable resource. So I've been in therapy for a long time myself. My new therapist came to my book launch, which was pretty fun. First time we met in person.
I love that.
But I read a lot of psychology textbooks, psychiatric journals. So my research for the other side was pretty different, and it was more grounded in the historical moments of the book where I needed more context. But I'd say that most of the in the room was based on my own method acting, maybe.
Did your therapist read the book?
They are.
Did you ask what they thought of it? Did you have to have a session about that?
I am sure I'll find out, but since it just came out, I don't think they've read it all the way through yet, but I'll keep you posted. I'm sure it'll come up.
Yes, exactly. Well, Booklist raves that Montague's debut novel imparts an affecting journey into the tricky bonds of grief and aging alongside the rewards of self-discovery. Kirkus says humor and bemusement at human foibles characterize the narrative, but never detract from the seriousness of Magda's delayed search for happiness and comfort in her sexual identity. The hard lessons and gifts acquired through loss are illustrated here in the most sensitive way, and Publishers Weekly raves delightful. This Ernest Road novel has plenty of appeal. They're not the only ones raving. Oprah Daily also clocking in, saying deeming this book the perfect blend of bitter and sweet. This debut belongs in every fall tote and every brunch gabfest. I feel like the praise doesn't get any better than that.
Delightful.
But yet the praise goes on. Town and Country also weighing in with a fabulous review, and Library Journal awarding you a starred review. Congratulations on that. Mm-hmm. Deeming the book tender but assured. They said this book will be popular in public libraries. The characters are crisply written. I love that. Crisp, like a crisp fall day, and engaging. Hand to readers who enjoyed Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. Again, on that starred review. Anna, is there anything that you previously have only told your journal but would like to reveal here on Mystery and Thrill and Ravens, either about your writing process or this book or the characters or anything else on your mind?
Oh my God, Sarah. Is this because I killed off a Sarah with no H?
I'm not saying it's because it is, Anna, but I am saying that it's probably because of it. No, it definitely did. It didn't help you that you killed off someone with the very unique spelling of Sarah, no H.
And I will never do it again.
I think that's probably
seen it online. I will never do it again. Oh my God, something I've never told anyone.
You have to confess.
I know. What should I confess? I'm sure I have something.
Well, while you're reading it, I'm going to read some of these more reviews. Minneapolis Star Tribune raving a thoughtful and affecting story about wayward love, regret, and missed opportunity. The Associated Press deeming it beautiful, beguiling, and slightly bonkers. Montague is such a gifted, sensitive, and big-hearted writer. Book Page deeming it a noteworthy debut. The praise goes on and on and on.
I'm really struggling to think of a really good secret.
Maybe you haven't done anything scandalous, Anna.
No, I don't think that can be it.
Uh-oh, Renee's saying, remember, your mom is here. That's right. Your mom with 2 M's is here.
You know what? I've always been a pretty horrible liar. I tried a couple times in middle school, never got past my mom.
Deb caught you.
Deb got me big time.
Detective Deb reporting for duty.
Oh no, she's good. If anyone out there is holding any secrets, she'll find him.
Deb sounds like my kind of woman.
God, all right, we're gonna have to circle back to the secret because I'm sure there's something and nothing.
I'll pry it out of you yet, Anna.
Yeah, you'll get me. You'll get me.
I have no doubt that I will. Oh, Deb's chiming in. Mom was ill during Anna's high school year.
I always joke about this because I was such a teenager. Like nothing. I mean, my mom and I have a great relationship now, but at the time, I was like, oh, everything you do is to torment me.
That was Deb's in life, to torment you.
We joke about it as being mom's mystery illness during, Well, of course, Deb, now we're very close. Deb,
you gave her a lot of material to work with. So, we can look forward to a long and fruitful career as Anna slowly works through the many issues that she has from this torture that befell her at your hands during her teenage years.
It's horrible to have parents who love and support you when you're just going through an identity crisis. Just devastating. It's the worst thing that could happen. For people to want to understand you during that time in your life, and you're like, no one can understand me.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Actually, Colin McCann spoke at the Boston Book Festival a couple years ago, and he was like, I was cursed with the worst kind of childhood for a writer, a happy one with healthy, wonderful parents and a thriving family. I had nothing to write about. No material. No material. Thanks, Deb.
I do love that.
All right, we are over time. Time flies when you're having this much fun. Thank you for joining us, Renee. Thank you. Robin saying the most intense Italian mafia is the Mom Network. There was no lying. My mom knew everything before I got home. That's right. You don't lie to an Italian. And thank you so much for coming on to join us for the inside scoop on how does that make you feel, Magda Eklund. And here again is that link to buy the book from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. Go get a snack, go get a drink, and I will see you back at the top of the hour. Thank you for watching and thank you for commenting. And if you didn't comment, that's okay. I still see you. Thank you. And thank you, Jane. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Debbie with a Y. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Christy with a K. Thank you, Tamila. Thank you, David. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Mary H. Wesley, Jane R. Jane B. Bonnie, Chris B. Andrea, Hannah, Edward, Jody, Bridget, Annalie, Mark, Mary J, Jackie K, and Jane B. Thank you so much. All right, y'all, that is a wrap. I'll be back at the top of the hour with Eileen Cogdell, who's revealing her best books of the year exclusively here. You don't want to miss that. Anna, thank you so much. Come back when your next book is out.